What if there was a system that has been proven to help people who are drowning in debt to actually become wealthy? A step-by-step plan that has helped millions of people manage their money without feeling like they are floating through it, lost, or in over their head. This is exactly what we are going to be outlining. Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps, a simple yet effective approach that controls the future of finances. But instead of just listing the steps, we'll be applying them to a real-life example of Jason. Jason is a high-income earner. He appears happy on the surface. He walks around with a confident look on his face, but it's all a facade. Deep down, he is slowly drowning, and his financial burdens quietly consume him every day. He is suffering in silence. He is living from paycheck to paycheck, has little or no capacity to save, and feels that financial freedom is unattainable. But with these 7 baby steps, he was able to turn his life around and not only pay off his debts, build his wealth, and future-proof himself. And in this video, we'll show you exactly how he did it. Introducing Jason's situation, the high earner who feels broke. Jason is a 34-year-old software engineer who brings in a solid $110,000 a year. On paper, that's a great salary, but we now know that Jason is drowning in debt. He has 4 types of debt. Number 1, mortgage debt. Number 2, credit card loans. Number 3, student loans. And number 4, auto loans. Let's analyze Jason's mortgage debt. He has a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage of $500,000 with an interest rate of 7.5%. His monthly payment of $3,500 covers both interest and principal. Jason originally purchased his home for $560,000 with a down payment of $60,000. Despite this significant initial contribution, the high interest rate combined with the long loan term means that he will end up paying $1,260,000 over the life of the mortgage, more than double the home's purchase price. For the current billing cycle, most of the payment, $3,100, is applied towards interest charges, while only $400 goes towards the principal. This is a very important lesson about long-term fixed-rate mortgages. During the initial years of the loan, a large portion of the monthly payment is directed towards the interest charges, and very little goes towards the principal balance. In total, Jason is expected to pay $1,260,000 over the life of the loan, with a staggering $760,000 of that amount being interest alone. This means that by the time his mortgage is fully paid off, he will have spent more on interest than the original loan amount itself. With a $3,500 monthly obligation, he is paying almost half of his take-home pay to his mortgage before you even factor in things like food, utilities, and other bills. It makes it difficult for him to save, invest, or even achieve his goal of marrying Christina. Jason also has a heavy load of credit card debt. He has 7 credit cards. One of them has a balance of $12,000, leaving him with only $200 in available credit. The most recent statement shows both purchases and cash advances with new charges of $1,300. His interest rates are very high, 29% on consumer purchases and 35% on cash advances. As a result, his total outstanding balance on this card alone exceeds $11,800, and the finance charges keep on growing. Although Jason made a payment of $485, the balance has not changed much. Similar to the situation of many people who are caught in the cycle of high interest rate debts, he finds that the bulk of his payments go towards servicing the interest debt rather than reducing principal. His minimum payment for this cycle is $250, but even if he consistently pays only the minimum across all his cards, his debt will take years to be paid off, costing him thousands in additional interest. In total, Jason has $52,000 in credit card debt, with minimum payments amounting to $1,200 per month. Despite his efforts, his balances barely decrease, as interest charges consume most of his payments. This level of financial strain prevents him from being able to make significant progress towards becoming debt-free and delaying his goal of starting a life with Christina. In addition to his mortgage and credit card debt, Jason has $75,000 in student loans. Spread across 3 private lenders, his loans carry interest rates ranging from 9% to 17%, making repayment an ongoing challenge. His largest loan is a $45,000 balance with a 9% interest rate and requires a monthly minimum payment of $450. Meanwhile, for his other 2 loans, $10,000 at 17% and $20,000 at 12%, he has to make additional payments of $200 and $100 respectively. Altogether, Jason must allocate $750 per month just to meet the minimum payment on his student debt. Despite making regular payments, he finds that his progress is slow. In fact, a significant portion of his $750 monthly payment is absorbed by interest. Only a fraction is going towards the principal. Because of the high interest and slow repayment, he feels like he'll never be able to eliminate his student loans. Even years after graduating, his debt remains a financial burden. It restricts his ability to save, invest, or plan for major life milestones. Month after month, Jason is forced to prioritize debt payments over the future he wants to build with Christina. His financial situation is a good example of the long-term negative impact of student loans can have on a person's financial life and the importance of a plan to break free from high-interest debt. Beyond his mortgage, credit cards, and student loans, Jason also carries an auto loan balance of $22,000. Originally, he borrowed $25,000 to purchase a reliable vehicle for work. But despite his best intentions, the loan has become yet another financial burden. With an interest rate of 6.8%, his monthly payment stands at $450, which includes $400 toward the loan and an additional $50 in fees. So far, he has paid $3,000 toward the loan, but much like his other debts, progress feels slow. What was meant to be a practical investment now seems like just another bill, further limiting his ability to get ahead. Every month, another $450 is deducted from his budget, tightening his already strained finances and making it even harder to build a future with Christina. This auto loan, like the rest of his debt, is a reminder of how financial obligations can quickly compound, leaving little room for flexibility or long-term growth. Jason's main motivation for taking on the 7 baby steps isn't just about getting out of debt. It's about his future with Christina. He loves her and wants to marry her, but right now, his debt is holding him back. Christina is a frugal woman with no debt, and Jason is determined that his financial situation won't affect her. He knows that by getting out of debt and building a solid financial foundation, he can give them both the future they deserve. A future free from financial stress and full of the stability they both dream of. Let's take a look at his expenses. Every month, Jason brings in $9,000 after taxes, but by the time he pays his mortgage, debt, and living expenses, he has practically nothing left. Looking at his expenses, we can have a clear picture of where his income is going. First, the largest portion, 40% of his income, goes toward his mortgage debt. 32% goes to living expenses, which include everyday bills and necessities. Credit card debt takes up 13.5%, while student loans account for 8.5% of his monthly budget. The remaining 5% goes to his auto loan, and a small 1% is categorized as extra. The problem with Jason is that a large part of his income is going towards debt repayment. He has almost nothing left to save or invest. This indicates a high debt-to-income ratio, since a high percentage of the income is used to meet the debt obligations. He's not able to increase wealth or financial independence. Even more concerning is that emergencies are often charged directly to credit cards. Every time an unforeseen expense appears, Jason has no choice but to use his credit cards. For example, A car repair costs $800, an unexpected medical bill is $600, and when his water heater breaks down in the middle of winter, it adds another $1,200. Money that he simply does not have. Jason is never prepared for emergencies and is consistently caught off guard, unable to pay for these unexpected expenses without relying on credit. But not all of his so-called emergencies are true emergencies. A last-minute weekend getaway to de-stress after a tough month? Charged. Christmas gifts that cost way more than planned? Put it on the card. His girlfriend's birthday party at an expensive restaurant? Well, he didn't want to say no. Each time he justifies it by telling himself he'll pay it off later. But later never comes, and the debt just keeps growing. Jason's frustration and turning point. Jason feels stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed. He works hard, but he's living paycheck to paycheck, despite making 6 figures. But today, things are about to change. Part 1. Save a $1,000 emergency fund. Jason's first task is to save a $1,000 emergency fund. It seems too small to matter. But here's why this is the most important step. It's a mental shift. No more relying on credit cards when emergencies hit. It creates stability. Even a small safety net can prevent bigger financial disasters. It builds momentum. If Jason can do this, he can do anything. Jason's dilemma. But there's a problem. Jason has no savings, no emergency fund. He thinks, I don't have $1,000 just lying around. Where am I supposed to find that money? Simple. He's going to create it. Cutting expenses to save $1,000. Jason knew that if he wanted to turn things around, he had to get serious about his spending. He set a clear goal: save $1,000. To do that, he started looking for creative ways to cut back without feeling deprived. No more spending on things he didn't really need. Every dollar saved brought him one step closer to his goal. Jason wasn't just cutting expenses, he was taking control of his future. Step 1. Cut unnecessary spending. Here's what Jason does. He cancels unused subscriptions. This saves him $50 per month. He stops eating out for 30 days, instant savings of $300 per month. He switches from premium brands to store brands, savings of $100 per month. He pauses online shopping and impulse purchases, automatic savings of $150 per month. Just by cutting expenses, Jason saves $600 in 1 month without feeling deprived. Step 2. Sell unneeded items. Jason takes a look around his house and quickly realizes he's surrounded by things he no longer needs or uses. Here is a list of what he sells. Old electronics, listed and sold for $150. Unused furniture, sold for $400. Designer clothes, cashed in for $200. Every forgotten item turns into real money, bringing him one step closer to his financial goal. In just 2 weekends, Jason makes $800 from selling things he didn't even use. Step 3. Temporary side hustles. Jason works weekend side hustles to boost his savings. He earns $120 driving for Uber and another $150 from pizza delivery, bringing him a total of $270 for the weekend. By dedicating his time outside of his regular job, he's able to generate extra income and bring himself closer to his $1,000 emergency fund goal. The result: Jason has $1,000 in less than 30 days. 1 month ago, Jason thought saving $1,000 was impossible. Now, he has it in his emergency fund. No credit cards, no stress. No more sleepless nights wondering how he'll cover the next surprise expense. This system is working. For the first time in a long time, Jason wasn't stressed about money. Jason's new financial future. For the first time in years, Jason feels in control. And that's when he realizes this wasn't just about saving money, it was about changing his habits. If he can save $1,000 this fast, he can pay off his debt just as aggressively. If he can find extra cash hiding in his budget, how much more can he put toward his debt? If he stops relying on credit cards, maybe he can stop feeling trapped. For the first time, Jason isn't just working for a paycheck. He's working towards something bigger. And now, he's ready for the next big challenge. Baby step 2. Paying off $149,000 debt with the debt snowball. In this lesson, I'll show you exactly how Jason will attack his debt, step by step, using the debt snowball, and how he'll be completely debt-free in just a few years. He will pay off $149,000, divided into 3 separate types of loans. Number 1, $52,000 in credit cards. Number 2, $75,000 in student loans. And number 3, $22,000 for his car loan. When he's done with the debt snowball, he will be debt-free except for his mortgage. $1,000 starter emergency fund. Jason has his $1,000 emergency fund in place. No more financial panic when life happens. No more last-minute credit card swipes for emergencies. Now he has something even better. Peace of mind. He knows that when the unexpected comes up, he's ready. It's not just about the money. It's about feeling secure and in control. Jason's financial turning point. For years, Jason thought he was managing his finances. He made minimum payments on everything, hoping he'd eventually get ahead. But every month, his money vanished before he could even think about saving. That ends today. Jason is about to use the debt snowball method, the fastest way to destroy debt and build momentum. What is the debt snowball method? Paying off debt can feel overwhelming, like trying to push a boulder uphill. But what if instead of struggling against gravity, you used momentum to your advantage? That's exactly how the debt snowball method works. It's a simple but powerful strategy designed to keep you motivated. Instead of focusing on interest rates, you focus on progress. Mastering the debt snowball method. Here's how it works. Step 1. Write down all your debts from the smallest to largest balance, ignoring interest rates for now. Step 2. Make minimum payments on everything except the smallest debt. Step 3. Focus on the smallest debt and throw every extra dollar at it until it's paid off. Step 4. Once it's paid off, take that payment and roll it into the next smallest debt on the list. Step 5. Repeat the process. With each debt eliminated, your available cash grows and the snowball picks up speed. The journey to debt freedom. At first, the progress seems small, but then something incredible happens. The first debt disappears, then the second, then the third. Each win fuels the next. And before you know it, you're debt-free. And don't forget to celebrate each small victory, because every step forward is proof that your hard work is paying off, and you're one step closer to lasting freedom. Understanding the debt snowball method. The debt snowball method isn't just about math, it's about money psychology. It works because you see results quickly, which keeps you motivated to stay the course. Because at the end of the day, the key to paying off debt isn't just knowing the numbers, it's believing you can do it. From concept to action. Now that we understand how the debt snowball method works, let's see it in action. Jason has spent years feeling overwhelmed by his debt, watching his paycheck disappear before he can even think about saving. But now, with a clear plan in place, he's ready to take control. Step by step, dollar by dollar, Jason is about to transform his finances. Let's walk through exactly how he tackles his debt, starting with the smallest balance first. listing every debt, smallest to largest. Jason sits down at the kitchen table, pen in hand, and writes out every debt he owes, excluding his mortgage. For the first time, he sees the full picture, and it's staggering. Here's what he owes. Auto loan, $22,000 balance, minimum payment $450 per month. Credit cards, $52,000 balance, minimum payment $1,200 per month. Student loans, $75,000 balance, minimum payment $750 per month. Total debt, $149,000. And every month, $2,400 of his paycheck goes into payments. The power of small wins. At first, Jason feels overwhelmed. Where do you even start with this much debt? Most financial experts would tell him to start with the highest interest rate, probably his credit cards. But that's not what Jason is going to do. Instead, he's going to focus on the smallest debt first, his $22,000 car loan. Why? Because winning is psychological and momentum matters. Small wins lead to big wins. Quick progress builds motivation. Seeing results keeps you committed. The logic is simple. If he can eliminate one debt quickly, he will feel the momentum to tackle the next. When he actually sees progress, he will get motivated, committed, and start believing that financial freedom isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And that's exactly what Jason needs. So he tackles the car loan first. Free up extra cash. Saving $1,000 was a challenge, but now Jason must push even further. If he wants to eliminate his debt quickly, he needs to maximize every available dollar. This means cutting expenses, budgeting strictly, and finding ways to earn extra income. It takes deliberate, sometimes difficult, financial choices and sacrifices. Jason's spending adjustments. To accelerate his progress, Jason adjusts his spending. No eating out for now. He is redirecting $300 per month back into his budget. He postpones his next vacation, a decision that immediately frees up $400 per month. He cancels his entertainment subscriptions, an additional $50 per month saved. Meal prepping and smarter shopping reduce his groceries costs by $150 per month. Finally, he makes it a priority to increase his income. He finds temporary side hustles that generate an extra $1,080 per month. Total extra cash, $1,980 per month. Financial discipline. Jason understands that these changes require discipline. They are not easy, but they are temporary. And instead of allowing this money to disappear into everyday expenses, Jason redirects every dollar toward eliminating his car loan because he knows the faster he eliminates debt, the sooner he takes control of his financial future. The debt snowball begins. With an extra $1,980 per month allocated toward debt repayment, Jason is ready to put the debt snowball method into action. This bar chart visually represents the debt snowball method, showing Jason's debts from smallest to largest. First, he starts by aggressively paying off the auto loan, $22,000, which is paid off in 10 months. Then, he rolls that payment into the credit cards, $52,000. And finally, he eliminates the student loans, $75,000. In less than a year, the car loan is completely eliminated. Paying off credit card debt. Now, with that debt gone, Jason has freed up an additional $450 per month. But rather than redirecting that money back into his budget, he immediately uses it to pay the next debt, his credit cards. Here's his monthly payment breakdown. To his minimum payment of $1,200, he will add an extra $1,980 from his side hustles and $450 from his paid-off auto loan for a total of $3,630 per month. With each passing month, the burden of interest decreases, and the remaining balance shrinks at an accelerated pace. His $52,000 credit card debt is eliminated in just 18 months. Once the credit card debt is eliminated, Jason moves on to his final major liability. Student loan repayment. Now, Jason is ready to tackle his student loans. With the extra money, he can pay his loans even faster. By this point, he has an additional $1,200 freed up from his credit card payments, allowing him to pay off his $75,000 student loan debt even more aggressively. Here's his new monthly payment. Minimum payment of $750 plus Snowballed extra of $3,630, which means that he is able to pay $4,380 every month. By snowballing previous payments, Jason pays off $75,000 in student loans in just 21 months. Jason's debt snowball journey. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of how Jason's debt snowball grows and accelerates over time. During the first 10 months, Jason aggressively pays off his $22,000 auto loan with his monthly savings of $1,980 and his minimum car payment. With the car loan gone, he redirects those payments toward his $52,000 credit card debt. 18 months later, the credit card balance is completely paid off. Now, Jason has even more money freed up, so he fully concentrates on his student loan debt of $75,000. It takes him 21 months to pay off his student loans and be completely debt-free, except for his mortgage. Each step builds momentum, freeing up more cash to throw at the next debt. The snowball grows larger and moves faster until Jason crushes all of his debt in just over 4 years. Debt-free in 4.5 years. Through consistent payments and discipline, Jason eliminates all non-mortgage debt within 4.5 years. With no auto loan, no credit card debt, and no student loans, he has successfully transformed his financial situation. He has peace of mind and an extra $2,400 per month that used to go toward debt payments. Now, rather than sending $2,400 a month to lenders, Jason has the freedom to take the next step, building true financial security. Summary: Baby Steps 1 and 2. Jason started his journey feeling stuck, buried in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and unsure how to break free. But by following the baby steps, everything changed. Baby Step 1. Save $1,000 for a starter emergency fund. He cut expenses, sold unused items, and boosted his income to build a small safety net, ensuring he never had to rely on credit cards for emergencies again. Baby Step 2. Pay off all debt except the mortgage, using the debt snowball. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by large balances, Jason focused on paying off his smallest debt first, building momentum until he wiped out $149,000 in non-mortgage debt in just over 4 years. In the next video, we'll see how he's able to save 3 to 6 months of expenses for a fully funded emergency fund and secure his future children's education. Because financial freedom isn't just about getting out of debt, it's about creating a life where money is never a source of stress again.